Yeah, and I think that this comes down to the media at the end of the day. It's the same team who we're about to talk about in the following game with the Cowboys, where they seem to just be propping these guys up. And it's not that they're not good teams necessarily, it's that they're pushing them so hard that you start to hate them. And that's what I fear happens with Josh Allen sometimes. It's like Josh Allen is exceptional and he is great, and he does have these games where he's spectacular. I think about that Patriots game 2 years ago, the playoff game, and I think about the Chiefs game, the 13-second game,
Yeah.
where him and Patrick Mahomes were exchanging blows, and it was the greatest playoff game I've ever seen. And that's the Josh Allen I love. But when they're putting him in the MVP race, when he has the most turnovers in the NFL, and they were 6-6, and part of the reason why they lost some of these games was because of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
No, he's not the MVP. And then the Cowboys, the team that beats up on all these terrible teams, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Commanders. We continue
The
on.
Giants twice.
The Giants twice. It's like then they face a winning team and they get annihilated. The 49ers, for example. It's like, yes, the Cowboys are a good team, but they are not the favorites and they are fraudulent. They have proven that. They are the Miami Dolphins of the NFC. But the NFL media wants the Cowboys to be good so bad because they are America's team according to the media. And it's obnoxious because these are two teams that I could appreciate if they would just shut up.
Yeah, two teams we could both appreciate, and that's a great transition into this matchup because a lot of people are already writing in the Cowboys to the conference championship over the Lions and over the Green Bay Packers, who have kind of eaten their lunch over the past few years. And I know that was with Aaron Rodgers before, but the talent is not that different. And this is the youngest team in the league. And you're playing with house money here because you don't really know how to game plan for the Packers because it's guys like Dontavian Wicks. Christian Watson isn't there. Wherefore out thou Romeo Dobbs? We don't know where he is. And then we have Luke Musgrave on that team, rookie tight end. We have players like Tucker Kraft on that team making plays. And then you look at some of the throws Jordan Love is making, and you're like, holy cow. Like, there are only a few guys in the league that
Mhm.
can make those throws right now. And Jordan Love next year is going to be pushing for damn near top 5 in the league as far as quarterbacks if he keeps up to this trajectory. You look at the past 8 games, he's thrown 18 touchdowns to 1 pick when people like Colin Cowherd are like, my sources say that Jordan Love is a giant failure and his parents are disappointed by him. And then you have him the past 8 weeks going 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. His footwork has improved. He's confident. And just listen to his conviction in that press conference. He owned the media. It was spectacular to see. And then this is a Green Bay Packers team that it would mean so much for them. There is no pressure on them for them to win this game. And then what is the Dallas Cowboys' weakness so far this season? Oh, yeah, stopping the run. Do you remember the last time the Green Bay Packers went to Jerry World in a playoff game? Who was the killer? Who is the Cowboy Killer? You're wearing the Cowboy Killer hat right now. Well, that might as well be an Aaron Jones hat you're wearing right now because Aaron Jones is the Cowboy Killer. And then, oh yeah, AJ Dillon, the farm simulator himself, also a cowboy in his own right, is a absolute fridge there. And then your defense, you want to talk about a top corner in the league who people have slept on because he's been injured, but he's working his way back. Oh yeah, Jair Alexander, and they just took on the Bears, who have been one of the hottest defenses in the league. They ran all over them, marched up and down the field. The score, maybe they didn't put up a ton of points, but they were able to move the ball up and down the field. And the Cowboys seem like this is the year where they've been overhyped the most, and this is setting up for a epic failure. So I don't know. I think the Packers are just going to upset them in Jerry World.
Well, the Packers are the Cowboys are favored at 7.5. You think the Packers cover that spread? Obviously, you're picking the Packers here.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because I want to see this outcome occur as well, I'm riding with the Packers as well. There and what are we on this show besides right? And we have obviously having the documents. We are history buffs.
Yeah.
And what does history say about the Packers and Cowboys matchups? It says that the Packers are winners of 9 of their last 10 against the Cowboys. And what also does the history say about the Cowboys? Oh yeah, playoff chokers. And talk about a team, they've been elevated so high, the Super Bowl favorites at one point, and then their NFC title guarantees for the 49ers and the Eagles and all these other teams that they threw in there at one point. To see them lose in the first round to the Packers, who at one point were on the worst top 5 beginning of the season with how bad they looked at one point, for them to lose to Jordan Love would be a stain and also a heroic game because obviously there's the Mike McCarthy narrative there. The Packers beating Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy would be fired, absolutely, if that happens, which would set up a Bill Belichick Cowboys matchup and consolidation and, reconciliation there.
LLC. The
LLC.
Belichick Dallas Cowboys LLC coming to a theater near you.
Exactly. And so with the Packers, with Aaron Jones looking good the last few weeks as well, I think it's one of those games. And every single playoff bracket, right? There's always going to be a game that we don't expect, and we are expecting the unexpected,
Yeah.
which is a Packers dub.
Also, like, just look at the Lions matchup, though. Like, Jared Goff threw 2 picks in that game, but the Cowboys weren't able to move the ball against the Lions defense, who hadn't looked that good. But the Green Bay Packers defense has looked pretty good the past few weeks. They held the Bears down, who, they have one of the most underrated tight ends in the league in Cole Kmet. They have a top 7 receiver in the league in DJ Moore, who is in the top 10 in receivings. Like, the Packers also went to Detroit's house and beat them. They beat the Chiefs on national TV this year, and then the Cowboys lost to the Bills, and not Aaron Jones, not Dalvin Cook, not Derrick Henry, not Ezekiel Elliott, not one of these top running backs in the league ran all over them. It was James Cook. James Cook has not had a game that good since that Dallas Cowboys game, and Aaron Jones has been the missing piece for the Packers. It's like, I don't get why people are overlooking the Cowboys that much. I know it's a reach. I know we're going out on a limb by picking the Packers in that game, but the Cowboys, they're so one-dimensional, and so it's kind of like they're kind of boring at times to watch because when that defense isn't getting up on high gear, it's like they seem like a team that plays down to their competition at times, and they're not always ready to go. And then also, Stephon Gilmore popped his shoulder versus the Washington Commanders. He's going to be ready to go, but he's still going to be pretty sore. He's not going to be the same player in that game. You don't have Trayvon Diggs in this game, and then you also lost one of your better linebackers in the league in this game, and he might have to retire with his injury issues. And then Micah Parsons just disappears at times.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is setting up for a ultimate. You always say what comes up must come down.
Yeah.
In the world. And the Cowboys, what have we seen the last 30 years from them? Lots of hype entering the season, going into the season. Maybe they have a good season and they end up letting their fans down in historic fashion. I think this is the ultimate year that happens.
Yeah.
So we have this Packers upset early. You've heard it here first from the Brickyard. The most accurate, most confidential. We have the documents.
Yeah.
And we have the Packers upsetting the Cowboys.
Yeah, and there's no pressure on the Packers coming into this game. No one expects them to go to Dallas and do anything. Everyone's going to pick the Dallas Cowboys in this game. You're going to see everyone picks the Cowboys. No one's going to pick the Green Bay Packers. And it's going to be one of those games where the Cowboys just got too hyped this year, and then it's like Dak Prescott is not that much better than Jordan Love. I'm sorry. He's just not. He has more experience, but you want to talk about the Cowboys experience? Okay, 2-4 in the playoffs. I don't call that good experience.
Plus, what I've noticed, and maybe I'm reading into this too much, you can say it in the comments, Micah Parsons' podcast, right? The problem that I've had with it is not him speaking his mind and him talking about football. He's already looking to the 49ers. He's already looking to the Eagles, and he's already looking to the Lions. He's not looking what's ahead of him. And I feel like that's the problem with the Cowboys sentiment entering this Packers game. They're going to be looking ahead rather than looking than what's in front of them. Yeah. They're not going to take the Packers seriously because they are the 7th seed and they, barely made the playoffs. So I think they're busy looking at the 49ers and they're looking at all these other teams. And so they're going to have their calendars marked and they're going to end up falling short because of it.